like you can actually do everything that you're trying to do through the day. So just leave here in the comments on the bottom your name, the country where you're connecting from. I would love to say hello to you, and hello there to everybody also here on Facebook. It is great to see you all. It's amazing. And what I want to talk today about, as you can see here on the screen, we have this topic of today. Why is that your brain feels like very tired even if you slept 8 hours? So again, if you've ever felt like that, maybe you will identify with me. I have been there before, where I wonder, hey, I just feel so tired, but I slept 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. So but please let me know here in the comments from which country you're connecting from. Maybe you're connecting from the USA, you're connecting from Europe, you're connecting from Mexico. We're gonna be doing another video about this topic in Spanish in just a minute. But stay with me for just a couple minutes, and I'm gonna explain you why. Why is that our brain feels really tired, or we're like dragging even when we have slept 8 hours? Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing. There is this little thing behind that we don't realize, that we all go through, and that is brain fog. So thank you so much for being here, to all my friends on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and other platforms. But have you ever felt that way? I've felt that way, where I just go to sleep early and I try to do the right things, I try to eat right, but you know what, I am still dragging. So thank you so much for all of my friends here on Instagram for being here. But by 10 a.m., if has this ever happened to you, that you sleep 8 hours, you sleep really good, but by the middle of the day or early, starting your day, you feel like you're exhausted. Now, if you've ever felt that way, you're not the only one, but it's not a pleasant feeling. Now, we could be doing many different things. We could be wondering where we left the keys, wondering at work what we were doing, or staring at the screen. Maybe you're at your workplace, and you by 10 o'clock you're like exhausted, and you get stuck and you don't know what you're doing. I've been there. You start one task, and then you go to another one, and you don't quite finish one, and by the end of the day you're busy, but somehow nothing important has been done. Have you ever felt that way? I've felt that way. So thank you so much to all my friends here on Instagram and different platforms. It's not a pleasant feeling, but for years I thought that the solution was simple, and that we could just have more coffee, more caffeine, more stimulation. But eventually I realized one thing. Our body, well, my body was not tired, but it was my brain. There's a huge difference, a huge difference. Now, I'm gonna tell you a couple things. Whenever I am doing different things for keeping my health in check, I have noticed one thing. Whenever I sleep really good, but I still don't feel great the next day, I know that I have been going through a lot of stress. And if that's you, maybe this video might help you, because whenever you're stressed through the day, it could be, stress because you're working out, stress because of the kids, or the worry of the problems of daily life situations, whatever that might be. Whenever our body doesn't have enough recovery, which means that you are not able to tone it down at some point throughout the day, and you're constantly living in a state of being completely activated, worry about every single thing, around your life, that's when our brain becomes tired and we are exhausted. That's usually where all of these things come from. They don't come just once at a time, or just all of a sudden, but it's a compound thing that you and I could solve with some simple things. Now, what if we could do something that we could actually implement every single day that can get us results that we want, which those results could be, having more energy, having more enjoyment when you are doing, your job, more enjoyment while you're spending time with your family and friends. Those things are real if you think about it. Those things can actually happen, and it doesn't have to involve many things. What if our brain just simply is overwhelmed with all of these things, technology, scrolling down, and you're not just getting old. It's not that we're getting old. Yes, we're all getting old, but it's called brain, not frog, brain fog, lack of concentration, mental fatigue, forgetfulness, low productivity. And when we are thinking about these things, we can, just pause for a moment and just think, I know what I need to do, but I can't seem to focus. If that's you, well, you're not lonely, my friend. That's mostly all of us. We need to focus. There are things that I really love to share with you. First of all, what can we do? First of all, we need to have, the ability to tone things down in our brain. Too much of the scrolling, on our screens, too much of, worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. Those things can actually impact our health. Now, let's talk about what our modern life brain does. Think about a normal day. Just think about this. You wake up and immediately you check your phone. That's what we usually do. Notifications, emails, social media, text messages, the news, work. You check your email immediately. Family responsibilities, financial concerns, deadlines. Maybe if you have young children, you are on your way out to take them to the daycare, and you're just running and running and running. Hi, how are you, my friends? I have Viliana. How are you? To all of my Balkan friends here on Instagram and also on other platforms. But you are on the go, and your brain is constantly activated. There's no rest. And the brain actually processes thousands of pieces of information every single day. Actually, our brain has over 70,000 thoughts. And you know what? Most of those thoughts are not positive. In fact, experts say that our modern humans, modern people consume dramatically more information in a single day than people did decades ago. This is where, our world is going. We're bombarded by information. We are seeing, shorts, reels, and these things and those other things. But, the problem is that our brain is not designed for endless stimulation. Our brain can get overloaded. And that's why we see a lot of difficulty concentrating. We see, people with reduced mental clarity, like myself. Sometimes I'm trying to complete this task, but I have 10 other tasks. I'm a multitasker. Sometimes I don't recommend that. But that's how our brain is operating nowadays with all of the technology going around us. So we forget things. We don't have much productivity, and so on and so forth. But you know what? The real problem is that our brain is overstimulated. We have to face, several problems that all of us as humans, need to address, from when we're little all the way down to, we're like older adults. Now, there's one thing called poor brain circulation. And poor brain circulation is a factor that is real, that is affecting you and me. And our brain represents 2% of our body weight. Picture that. Now, yet roughly 20% of our oxygen and energy is consumed by our brain. Now, think about this. 1/5 of your body, fifth of your body's energy is consumed by your brain. And if circulation becomes less effective, your brain may not perform at its highest level. So, what can impact circulation and blood oxygen? Well, many factors. not sleeping enough, not going and moving your body enough, not exercising. Those things are impacting it. Number two, chronic stress, what I was talking about. When you're stressed all the time, your body is on survival mode, which is not a fun way to feel. When you're on survival mode, even if you don't know it, your brain thinks that you are trying to just avoid danger and pain. Thank you so much for all of my friends who are watching. Type here in the comments where's that you're watching. Type number one if you're watching live. Type number two if you're watching on a replay. So chronic stress is the number two. When you're stressed, your body is actually prioritizing survival. So you don't have creativity, you don't have memory, there's no focus. You're constantly just thinking, your brain is on the mode of survival, which is not a good place to be. Number three, we have this multitasking that I was telling you about. We consistently reduce our performance as humans, as moms, as wives, as students, as whatever you might consider yourself like. And we believe that by multitasking, we're doing more. But in reality, we are overloading ourselves. And every time we do this, our brain feels drained, exhausted. Number four, aging. A lot of people think that all of these things I'm describing only comes because you're aging. That's not the case. Aging contributes, yes, but whenever you have all of these things I just described plus you age, you have a slower response, you have reduced focus, you have less mental clarity, and so on and so forth. So what is the solution? You're thinking about all of these things. Oh man, Danny, this is not cool. The fifth factor on all of these things I was mentioning about you and I not feeling that we rested after 8 hours of sleep is nutritional support. Most of us realize that we do need it, but we don't necessarily take action for that. And that's where, I believe this is one of the key components for every human to have a better quality of life when it comes down to a great sleep, is because our brain is an organ. And like every organ, it requires proper support and nutrition. Now, without like really great supplements, really great food, really great, quality of life, is very, very hard for you and I to live a life where you're remembering everything, where you are 100%, functional. You can do a lot of tasks. You have a lot of energy. You can enjoy your family, and you can actually live your life in a way that you are feeling fulfilled because you are completing your tasks. You are getting to your goals better and faster. Now, let me explain the good news. Not everything has to be that way. Scientists talk about something that is called the neuroplasticity. The brain constantly changes and it adapts. This is the beauty of our bodies, which, everybody's different. Your body might respond very differently from my body when we take a food supplement, when we sleep, more hours or less, when we take a walk, when we do more exercise. Everybody's different. But you know what? Our brain consistently needs you and I to de-stress, to not live on this survival mode. So what supports brain performance? I'm going to tell you is better circulation. That's the key, better circulation. Because healthy blood flow in our brain delivers oxygen, nutrients, and those things are crucial for us to have a really great day every single day. Like, stress comes in, yes, but if we have good circulation, we're gonna have a better outcome throughout our day. We're gonna have better resilience. If you know what that is like the ability for your body to take stress and recover through the day. That's what it is. Now, focus support, supporting our brain with all of the things that are needed, with the neurotransmitters being healthy, may help us maintain concentration and mental performance. Now, by the way, this video is not designed for you to take it as if I'm a doctor, because I'm not. Yes, I do formulate products. I am passionate about health and wellness. But these videos for you to just educate yourself and maybe do some things so you can have a better life, a better quality of life with taking care of yourself, as I'm going to describe in just a second. Another thing, you need antioxidants in your body, you need sleep, and these are the things that can solve that problem. Number one, you need to have great movement throughout your day. Number two, you need to hydrate properly. Number three, you need to have good nutrition, and that includes food supplements. Not only food, but food supplements. Number five, you need mental stimulation, but not with social media. And the last one, you need proper sleep. Now, you can sleep for 8, 4, 6, 10 hours, not 4, but 8, 9, 10 hours, and still wake up and feel like if you have not rested, because you need to lower down the levels of stress, which can be helped by better circulation. Now, I want to leave you here with a piece of information. Now you have all of these things. Yes, I do love food supplements. We designed this. I designed this product in NH Global, which is called Refine. And this product is great. It's not a magic pill. It's not something for you to actually solve all of the things that I just described. It's not for you to not be stressed. No, this is one of the reasons we developed this product. It's not a shortcut. It's not something that you can say, well, I'm just taking Refine and I'm not sleeping, or I'm not drinking water because I'm taking, my food supplements. That's not how it should be. But listen to this. Our formula was designed to help people to perform at their best, with the brain. Now, it has 240 milligrams of ginkgo biloba, and it does have 200 milligrams of ginseng. These two are recognized by many medical studies, and they have been used for millennia, for thousands of years, and they do have several medical studies done on these two ingredients, which are known to help and support with mental clarity, focus, cognitive performance, healthy circulation, and productivity. So the goal is simply having more, not simply having more energy, but having a sharper mind, which only comes whenever you and I are able to provide the best of the best to our bodies. Now, if you've been struggling with these things, with brain fog, you forget things, you are not productive, you feel fatigued, you feel like if you don't finish your projects, you feel like if you're not remembering everything, maybe this might be for you. This might be something you need to try, and drop the word Refine here on the comments if you want more information. Thank you so much for being here on this broadcast on different platforms. We're on NH Global and also on my platform. And I thank you so much for being here. I want to be coming on into another video in Espanol in just a few minutes. And thank you so much for being here. Bye.